on Iran, though he has also emphasized holding off on renewed strikes for negotiations is temporary.
These comments come amid a massive U.S. military buildup across the Middle East. New video shows U.S. refuelers parked at Tel Aviv's Ben Gurion airport, waiting in case President Trump orders new strikes against the Iranian regime. Overnight, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps released a new threat, warning the United States and Israel against launching another bombing campaign. The IRGC put out a statement saying if the aggression against Iran is repeated, the regional war that was promised will this time go beyond the borders of the region, and you will be dealt crushing blows in places you do not expect.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. Inside Iran, the regime also releasing videos showing civilians learning how to use weapons. Just getting word that 2 police officers who helped defend the U.S. Capitol during the January 6th riot are now suing to try to block anyone, including rioters, from receiving payouts from a new Justice Department settlement fund for people who claim to be victims of politically motivated prosecutions. This a day after the acting U.S. Attorney General defended creation of that fund as setting up a process for case-by-case review. The lawsuit says it's an illegal slush fund. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon, expect a mix of sun and clouds with a breeze and lower humidity. The high will reach 58. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 47. Tomorrow will be cool with a blend of clouds and sun reaching a high of 61. Friday is set to be mostly cloudy and breezy with a few showers in the afternoon. The high on Friday will be 62. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Alex Marlowe sees good news on the economy.
Economy added 115,000 jobs in April. 115,000 jobs in this economy is a lot, and it's much bigger than the forecast from Wall Street, which were about 55,000. Back-to-back monthly job gains for the first time in about a year. Another good sign. This signals the labor market is re-accelerating.
The Alex Marlowe Show. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
You ever been in a really bad relationship? Kind of wears you down, right? You settle in even though deep down you know this is not the way it's supposed to be. That's what daily aches and pains feel like. You stop expecting to feel good. You start thinking, maybe this is just life now. But it doesn't have to be. With Relief Factor, you can break up with pain, just like Anthony did. Anthony wrote to me, he said, Glenn, I was dealing with debilitating pain and fatigue. I've been taking Relief Factor for about 2 months, and now I'm back to running my business, fishing, gardening, and doing all the things that actually matter to me. This is why I endorse Relief Factor. It has helped me, and I know it's helping so many in this audience live their lives to the full potential. Is it your turn? Relief Factor, 100% drug-free, targets inflammation that causes pain so you can move better, feel better, and actually enjoy life again. Try the 3-week quick start. It's $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. Break up with pain and get back to what matters. relieffactor.com, 800-4RELIEF.
Let me ask you something. Does your garage floor look bad? Covered in salt, cracked, or stained from the winter's brutal blast? Well, I've got a fix for you so you can start enjoying your garage this spring. Contact my good friends at Level 10 Coatings. Level 10 brought my garage floor from dirty and gross to showroom, shiny new in just one day. Level 10 Coatings can do the same for you. A quick and easy fix, permanent durable solution. Guaranteed to never chip or peel. Get it done now so you can enjoy your garage this spring and summer. Schedule your free quote today and mention me, Amy, for $500 off. Visit level10coatings.com. That's level, the number 10, coatings.com. Level10coatings.com or call 855-510-2628. Again, that's 855-510-2628. Level 10 Coatings, your premier concrete coating experts.
Hey, this is Sean Thompson. Most of us spend our entire lives in the paycheck mode. You work, you get 30% taken from the G, you pay your bills, repeat, and rinse. And that's how time goes by. Then all of a sudden, you're old. Retirement hits. Suddenly, you're the one who has to figure out your paycheck that isn't there anymore. Markets are bumpy, prices are up, things can get stressful real fast. That's why having a real income plan matters. Tom Fortino and the team at Alpha Wealth Group can help you build a strategy to turn your hard-earned savings into a reliable retirement income. They coordinate with your Social Security and your tax planning so you can stop wondering if you're withdrawing the right amount at the right time. Tom Fortino and the people of Alpha Wealth Group have been doing this for 30 years. They can help you by giving you a complimentary retirement roadmap. And all you have to do is call 630-864-6711. That's 630-864-6711 or online at alphawealthgroup.com.
This hourly segment brought to you by Unleash Your Wealth with Raj Shah and Rick Borick this Saturday at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. Learn more at scwealthadvisors.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
The following live program is sponsored by Breakthrough Ideas.
AM 560, The Answer. It's time for breaking news, expert insight, and informed commentary on what's happening in Springfield, Chicago, and beyond. Because an informed citizenry is the only way to protect our republic. It's time for The Real Story with Jeanne Ives and Amy Jacobson.
Keep Chicago out of your mouth. That's what Governor Pritzker said when President Trump made a comment about crime in Chicago yesterday during an impromptu White House press briefing.
Well, I like Darren Bailey. J.B. Pritzker's a slob of a governor. You know, he could call me and I'd send the National Guard and Chicago would have no crime. Look at Washington, D.C. Did you see the crime stats? It's down to like nothing. People go to restaurants now, new restaurants. Restaurants are all being closed in Washington. Now they're building new restaurants. It's a hot city. We have a beautiful city. We have very little crime, almost no crime. And we could have the same thing in Chicago. All he'd have to do is say, President, I don't want to have any crime in Chicago. Can you help me? Within 3 months, Chicago would be a different place.
What about the mayor, Brandon?
312-642-5600, because crime is only getting worse.
Well, that's absolutely right. New 2026 crime data, January through April, from the Major Cities Chiefs Association show double-digit declines in violent crime across several major American cities, except for Chicago. Chicago's homicide numbers are moving in the opposite direction. The city recorded 152 homicides in 2026 at this time compared to last year. That's 8 more than the same point last year. So, yeah, crime's up.
And it's not safe to go out. In Wrigleyville, Jeannie, listen to this. In the last week, there are these 4 guys who go up to women, hit them in the head while they're walking. One girl they put in a car. They kidnapped her and said, we're going to kill your family unless you give us your ATM card. And she gave him the digits. She gave him everything she had. Please don't kill me. And thank God they let her out. But these guys, they've had 7 attacks in Wrigleyville and twice in River North. And a lot of people are here for the Brewers-Cubs game. I know a lot of kids that are, college kids that are going to the game tonight. And I even told my son, you are taking an Uber home. He goes, no, I live right there. I go, no. You're taking an Uber because they're getting you on the side street. They're plotting this out. They're planning. They go to the bars. They see you drinking. They see you acting sloppy, and they follow you. And that's how they do it. And they don't care if you're in a group of people. They don't care if you're walking alone. I mean, it's pretty scary stuff, and it's not getting any better. So and we're going to have former Chief Tom Weitzel on, former Chief of Riverside, Illinois, to talk about it. But it's really disconcerting. But some breaking news. I don't know if it's breaking news now, but something was defined yesterday. They had the NFL owners meeting in Orlando. And the McCaskies told Roger Goodell and all the other owners, it was a closed-door meeting, no press, that the Bears are absolutely not going to be playing in Chicago. They will until a new stadium is built, and that could take 2 years to 5 years. But they are saying that their choices are Arlington Heights or Hammond, Indiana, and that is it. And Chicago is out. So you know what Brandon Johnson did? He went on WVON radio.
The difference or the disconnect is, look, we do come from different experiences. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not the heir of billions of dollars. Mm-hmm. I'm a working class brother that was teaching middle school a handful of years ago, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to let go of my son who's off to Eastern Illinois in a couple of months, man. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Well, but wondering if I prepared him for this. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, the real struggle that I experienced, the governor and I had different upbringings. He doesn't know what it's like to open up a refrigerator, ain't no food in it. Mm-hmm. He doesn't know what it's like to have a long orange extension cord from our window to our neighbor's window just to keep electricity flowing. And so my motivation to make sure that a corporation keeps jobs in Chicago is so that families don't have to struggle like my family did. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, that's going to come across at times probably a little bit more provocative, because what's at stake for him is what at stake for me.
312-642-5600. You can text us or call us, because I don't know if this public escalation between these two is bad for Chicago, but I love that they're eating their own. They're each trying to deflect off of each other. Their friendship is over. I mean, but of course, I'm just a black man in a black community raising 3 black kids. And he brought up that his son's going to Eastern Illinois. What does that have to do with the Chicago Bears staying in Chicago? Nothing.
Look, Brandon Johnson didn't pay his water bill, racked it up to $3,000 because he knew that he didn't need to pay it, because if you're in a particular part of the city, you're privileged enough to not have to pay your utility bills because they think that you're poor. And so you don't pay. And yet he was making, probably $200,000 as the CTU lobbyist, something ridiculous. So the idea that he, grew up poor, I don't want to hear your Horatio Alger story either. I'm kind of sick of it.
One of 9. He was the only brother. He had a bunch of sisters, and his dad was a pastor, and they were poor. And he didn't grow up in Chicago. He grew up in Elgin, on the mean streets of Elgin.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, these two can go ahead and pretend and do all they want. Nobody cares about, them pretending that they're poor or anything like that. So,
and he brought that up. Let's go to Glenn in Orlando. Hi, Glenn. How are you today?
Good morning, ladies. Back in 2020, Trump sent a letter to Pritzker and then Mayor Lightfoot, telling them that the federal government is here to help you prevent crime, solve crime in the Chicago area. Just let us know, and we'll be there. So that's in 2020, and Pritzker said no. So Pritzker doesn't want crime to be solved in the Chicago area. Neither does Lightfoot. They just let it go. So Trump offered this in 2020. The letter's out there from the White House. You can see it.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Glenn.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. There is, by the way, a lot going on in this area of crime. There's a little glimmer of hope here because the lawmakers who wanted to stop police from using facial recognition to catch violent criminals, they got some pushback. And guess what? They're dropping that bill. CWB Chicago had the story. They're ending their effort to pass the legislation that would have prohibited state and local police agencies from using facial recognition to develop leads in criminal investigations. Well, gee, why is that? Because it's been really important, especially after they got rid of ShotSpotter, in identifying criminals and making sure that they are captured and then arrested. So at least there is a glimmer of hope that in the legislature, you can't get rid of this tool for the police. So who knows?
They should bring back Spot Shotter, but they're looking at some other company. Please. They're not bringing back Spot Shotter. It's probably a cousin or a friend of somebody in the Johnson administration. They shouldn't have got rid of it in the first place. CWB said about 9 people's lives could have been saved.
Yep.
One guy sat there for 27 hours, Jeannie, and a shot spotter had just been moved from that location. They could have heard it. They could have come to his rescue, and they might have been able to save his life, but they don't care. I think they just want to burn it all down at this point in time. All right, coming up, there's no E in electronic monitoring. We'll start there with former police chief Tom Weitzel.
There's no M in the monitoring.
That's what I meant to say.
I thought so.
I'm sorry. Words are hard today. No M in the monitoring and electronic monitoring. And then we'll get into the new program that Cook County State's Attorney Eileen Burke is starting to keep you safe on the CTA.
Exposing the lies and the misinformation from the politicians and the media. This is The Real Story on AM 560. The Answer.
The law group you know and trust, Nauman & Associates, is expanding into commercial litigation. When disputes can't be resolved, get the strategic guidance from a litigation lawyer who will fight for your rights. Attorney Richard Cannon brings both strong courtroom and dispute settlement skills. We believe most cases can be resolved without costly courtroom battles, but we prepare as if a trial is possible. When your company needs to stand its ground, contact Nauman & Associates in Elk Grove Village. For a consultation, visit nalawgroup.com.
If you're considering investing in precious metals, don't wait. The Iranian conflict seems to be nearing an end, and the time is now to position your retirement for massive growth. Advantage Gold is America's #1 precious metals company, and they want to send you a free gold and silver investor guide valued at $49 when you call 800-900-8000. Plus, you'll get a free copy of economist Ken Rogoff's book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. Our specialists can help you open a new account or transfer funds from an existing IRA, tax and penalty-free, and show you how a gold-backed IRA can put real, tangible assets into your retirement portfolio. Markets react to news cycles, but gold has maintained its value through inflation, volatility, and economic uncertainty. When the purchasing power of the dollar declines, that's when investors turn to gold and silver. Make your move now. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Results may vary. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Hello?
Sir, this is Officer Peterson. There's been a string of break-ins in the area, and your office, it was hit.
Hit? What do you mean? We were robbed?
Looks like the back door lock was easily pried open, and they moved through the building like they knew exactly what to take. We see wires everywhere. No computers.
What? No computers? I just upgraded everything.
Looks like they moved fast. We only found out because a neighboring business had their alarm go off. Do you have any security cameras?
No. Nothing.
Don't wait until it's too late. Goldilocks protects Chicagoland businesses with custom security solutions. From reinforced commercial doors with keyless entry to cameras and 24/7 monitoring that alerts authorities immediately. Schedule a free on-site assessment at GoldilocksInc.com. Again, that's GoldilocksInc.com. Plus, AM 560 listeners get their first 3 months of monitoring free with a new install. Call 708-889-5600. That's 708-889-5600. Goldilocks, Chicago's premier locksmith doors and security systems company since 1981.
Most investments today feel like second jobs. Real estate, you're a landlord. Stocks, you're a day trader. Crypto, you're a full-time researcher. You've got a life to live. Your investment should help you live it. That's why more Americans are choosing gold. Noble Gold has helped thousands protect their future with real physical gold. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
AM 560, The Answer.
Text message from 630. Jeannie, you said a naughty word.
Yeah.
I love it. Start swearing, Jeannie! Exclamation point! Exclamation
Look,
point!
it's a bad habit left over from the Army.
Oh, so that's what you.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, it's rampant.
You learned the 7 bad words. You know who never ever swears? Do you have a friend that never swears? Probably not, knowing you. Allison Rosati never swears.
Good for her.
I know. Good for her, too. Good for her.
It is. Yeah.
All right. We have a new program in Illinois from Cook County State's Attorney Eileen O'Neill Burke. It's a combination of Chicago police, Cook County Sheriff's deputies, the FBI, the DEA, and the ATF. They're trying to find a way to keep people safe. Monterey Security Systems recently was fired. I don't know if you saw any of those videos of them running away from perpetrators who are hurting people right in front of their faces because they didn't want to get involved. And even the canine dog didn't scare that away. Here's Eileen Burke.
There are 2 ways to deter crime: the likelihood of being caught and the likelihood of being punished. By working with law enforcement, we are upping the likelihood in both scenarios.
And then a reporter asked, well, would you take the CTA, the bus? Because it's not just the train, you guys. It's the bus, too. A female bus driver was kidnapped at knife point. She had to drive around for about 4 miles the other day, and then luckily she got to escape out a side window.
We have heard you. We share your concerns, and we are doing everything we possibly can to make this the safest big city in America. And that starts with our transit system.
Well, we'll see if that happens because, they did get a massive influx of money after the bill went by to build the whole new NITA system, the North Illinois Transit Authority, replacing the RTA. And so $1.5 billion more coming into CTA from state coffers and additional fare and fee hikes. So you've got that money coming in. And part of it is to help clean up crime because, again, the federal government was threatening to remove some of their funding if they didn't clean up crime. So they're on the hot seat right now. They have got to do something, and they have the money to do it. And so if it doesn't happen, what next? If you can't control the crime on your transit, you got a big problem. It's a closed system. Granted, there's a lot of moving parts to it, but still, it's a necessary system for so many people, students included, and this is a problem. So we'll find out if they can do it.
All right, with more on this, let's welcome back to the program Chief Tom Weitzel, former police chief at Riverside. Good morning, Mr. Weitzel. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Amy. Good morning, Jeannie.
So is this the key to solve the crime, the new Regional Transit Task Force?
You know, it's a step in the right direction, but it isn't. It is not the answer. The answer is repeat offenders being put back out all the time, because you look at any arrest that's made on the CTA, whether it be the train or the buses, read those stories and look at the criminal histories in those stories that they run. Look at the amount of offenders that are wanted on warrants at the time of that arrest or are listed as AWOL from Illinois Department of Corrections. You know, the real answer is not repeatedly putting these individuals back on the street that go right back and commit the same crime. Until we can address that, the task force will have some impact, but it's not going to have the impact that they think it is.
Well, how are they all going to coordinate together? I mean, are they going to have monthly meetings, or is there an office where they go to? I mean, how do they make this work when you have several agencies? I mean, I didn't mention the CTA, Metro Pace, U.S. Attorney's Office. I mean, they're all working together.
Yeah, there will be a central office space, and there will be a commander. There'll be somebody in charge. One organization will be designated to be the lead organization on that, and everybody else will funnel up through there. And they will give out assignments. They will give out daily assignments and weekly assignments based on data and stats, and they will send teams out to the CTAs, including the buses, like you mentioned earlier, to not only prevent but look for either active crime patterns or just be present sometimes they'll have uniform individuals, and other times they will have tactical or undercover. But yeah, there's going to be, and I would imagine that Chicago police would be the lead agency, but that's yet to be seen.
Well, how is it done in other cities? I mean, other cities don't seem to have the same level of crime problem, and certainly I would even point to European cities where transit is both clean, efficient, and safe.
Beautiful.
Why are they? Yeah. Why can we not get it all together in Chicago? They have now plenty of money to make that happen.
Yeah, I think they squander a lot of it to begin with in the wrong location. And you mentioned something, Jeannie, just makes a lot of sense to me. And there used to be this program in Illinois called Crime Prevention Through Environmental Design. And they put money into designing public spaces with the police in mind and security in mind. They designed CTA platforms with the proper lighting, the proper exit and entrance, the proper video, the ergonomic, the designs of it was to help prevent crime. They put millions of dollars into these programs those no longer exist. So you're right. Clean platforms, clean buses, safe buses, well lit, and with aggressive, and I do mean aggressive, patrols works. But that is not the way the city of Chicago currently addresses the system.
And those dark spots under the stairwells where homeless people lurk. I mean, that's why I stopped taking the CTA, because I'm so scared somebody's going to grab someone's ankles, or, I mean, you just don't know. A lot of the homeless people are mentally ill, and, there's nobody there to protect you.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that think we should open up the insane asylums again, but there definitely needs to be something handled with mental health, and in sleeping at O'Hare Airport or sleeping in the CTA and the buses is not the answer. And a lot of times, honestly, they're not even moving those people along. Let's be realistic. As long as they're not causing a problem at that moment, they're staying there. But the problem is they eventually do cause a problem.
So you got mentioned in the CWB Chicago article about the facial recognition bill. Apparently that is halted right now. You said that it's one of the most important investigative tools to come along in policing in 50 years. I can just imagine that we actually probably need more of this in our transit system than less.
Oh, for sure. And it is. I'll back DNA and facial recognition is absolutely a game changer in law enforcement and is absolutely the best tool in 50 years. If they were to take that away, the amount of leads and following up on cases and making arrests would plummet. And, something that a lot of people don't know, they have a device now that they give to law enforcement that is a version of facial recognition in squad cars. Departments can purchase these devices that when you're on the street, you can put somebody's thumb on it, okay, and it'll do an automatic scan, and it'll go through the criminal history in Illinois and NCIC, which is the national database, and it'll bring up the individual's photo and their criminal record. And why that's important is people lie all the time. They use alias names, alias dates of birth to avoid getting picked up on warrants or being AWOL, and that is tied into facial recognition. Okay, so that device would be eliminated from patrol officers being able to utilize that in Illinois.
Yeah, well, they just don't really actually want to prevent crime. These four buffoons in the state legislature that signed on to this, Cassidy and Okel and Jimenez and this Blair Sherlock from DuPage County. What a buffoon. These guys don't know anything about policing. They don't listen to the right people. Finally, they got bullied into stopping this one after the Sheridan Gorman issue and some other ones. Okay, moving on. Electronic monitoring, how does it actually work? Because it doesn't work in Chicago.
Yeah, well, you hit that 100% on point. It doesn't work. And the way it's supposed to work is, that program was instituted in 1989, 1990, and it specifically said for low-level offenders. That's not happening. You saw the recent report that there's homicide offenders on that, attempt homicide, criminal sexual assault, carjacking, on and on and on. That device is supposed to send a signal, a GPS signal, to the Cook County Sheriff's Police control room where it tells you that you're in compliance, that you're within your house or within the zone that it has you in, that the device is working, the battery's up and charged, and it monitors over 3,000 individuals on home monitoring or electronic monitoring. There isn't somebody sitting there saying, okay, you know what? This guy's absconded. This guy's gone there. This person has gone there. What happens is it sends the data, and if you're out of compliance, you have to send that data to the judge. The judge has to supposedly issue a warrant within 24 hours is the new rule, and then they deliver that warrant to law enforcement, which I'm telling you, Amy and Jeannie, is a lie, because what happens is it goes into a data bank called LEADS, which stands for Law Enforcement Agency Data System. There's tens of thousands of warrants in there. And it gets dumped in there, and that individual probably gets rearrested when police run across him on a traffic stop, or he gets rearrested and that warrant will pop up.
Well, I mean, let's put this in perspective. They have lost 243 criminals, including 21 murderers and 13 attempted murderers. So 1 in 12 just go missing because they're not going to follow the rule. And point in case, the tally who fatally shot officer, the two Chicago police officers, one is still alive and the other died. I mean, he didn't care that he had electronic monitoring on. He just cut it off and they never found him, and he had a warrant for his arrest.
Bartholomew,
yeah.
Yeah. And, they don't even know if these individuals are even in the state of Illinois. They have no idea where those 246 individuals are. Mm-hmm. Zero.
Mm-hmm. So now that it's been moved over to Chief Judge Beach, it's not going to get any better. I mean, they don't have any arresting authority. I mean, they could issue warrants, but who's going to go after them?
You know how that works? The judges do issue warrants when they do, and they don't send postcards like they used to do. So if they issue a warrant, it goes to the sheriff's police, and then it also gets dumped into that database I told you about, and then it sits there. It sits there until they get rearrested most of the time, or somebody runs across them. Now, there'll be some that'll be actively looking for it, because there are sheriff's officers that are assigned to look for them, but not in great numbers.
Hey, really quick, 10 seconds left here. Jeanine Pirro is out saying that the parents need to be arrested and fined if their teens take over. What say you?
Without a doubt.
All right.
Without a doubt. Accountability counts.
All right. Thanks, Chief Tom Weitzel, former police chief of Riverside. We'll be right back.
Catch more money with leading economist Steve Moore.
I'm excited about America. I think things are going really well. I think we've turned a corner here. I think Biden economics is well behind us now. This is a miracle what's going on here. If anything, it's better than I thought it would be. So many good things can happen in the economy. Low inflation, low unemployment rate, consumer confidence up, business confidence up. All of the indicators are pointing north right now.
It's More Money, Saturday at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. Before he headed out to Connecticut to address graduates at the U.S. Coast Guard Academy, President Trump touted his wins in last night's primaries.
We won everything. We won all races last night, every one of them.
He endorsed Ed Galrine to oust his nemesis, Kentucky Republican Congressman Thomas Massie, and he won by 10 points. Massie said,
"If you always vote with the president, if the legislative branch always votes with the president, we do have a king."
In the Middle East,
countries here in the Gulf, like the UAE, find themselves at a bit of a standstill. They were able to convince the U.S. to hold off on that planned attack of Iran in favor of negotiations. But if a deal isn't somehow struck, President Trump says that he has ordered the U.S. forces to be on standby.
That's Fox's Jeff Paul. Iran, in response, threatened to expand the regional war. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon, expect a mix of sunshine and clouds with a brisk breeze, making it feel less humid. The temperature will reach a high of 58. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 47. Tomorrow will be cool with a combination of clouds and sun, reaching a high of 61. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Amazon Business. With smart business buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience paired with delivery options built for business. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Are you prepared for the Illinois estate tax? If your estate is worth over $4 million, your heirs could face a tax bill of up to 16% when you pass. Financial advisor Scott Tucker and the team at Scott Tucker Solutions can show you ways to potentially reduce or even eliminate that burden. One strategy is to start gifting assets during your lifetime to lower the taxable value of your estate. Another option is setting up irrevocable trusts, which can shield wealth from estate taxes. Charitable donations and life insurance policies can also be smart tools to offset tax liabilities. Call Scott Tucker and the Scott Tucker Solutions team now, 847-474-3888, or go to 560retirement.com. That's 847-474-3888, or go to 560retirement.com. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Firm may not give tax advice. All right. You know, I don't push products I don't believe in, so listen up, because this one I love and recommend to friends and listeners. It's Virago Liquid Immune Support. We spoke to Dr. Huber, the creator of Virago, and let me tell you, this man knows immune health like nobody's business. He explained to me the stronger your immune system, the stronger your body fights back against viruses, disease, inflammation, all of it. I take it every day, not just when I'm sick. So he created Virago because it's a liquid immune boosting supplement packed with 23 powerful nutrichemicals that work together in synergy. It's antiviral, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and it even protects your heart, kidneys, and liver. And because it's liquid, your body absorbs it quickly. I mix my Virago in my orange juice, and I feel the difference, and you will too. So order your bottle of Virago today at myvirago.com. That's myvirago.com. Use the coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. myvirago.com, coupon code IMMUNE.
Fight or flight? In Illinois, you've got both options. You can stay and fight, engage in local races, work to change things. Or you can vote with your feet. At leavingil.com, we help you build a smart exit plan so you know where to go, when to go, and how to do it right. Take our quick exit readiness assessment. Go to leavingil.com. That's leavingil.com. Or call 224-800-6979.
The mainstream media isn't just biased. They're hiding stories from you, deliberately.
Restoration News is changing that. With elite researchers and fearless writers, Restoration News is the conservative media force fighting back in the information war for America's future. Download the Restoration News mobile app today or visit restoration-news.com. That's restoration-news.com. Real stories, real truth. It's time you knew what they don't want you to know.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Goldilocks, offering 24/7 security solutions for homes and businesses. Call them today at 708-889-5600.
AM 560, The Answer.
I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy.
Such great intro music.
I love it. Because somebody's always
favorite.
watching, and it's Watchdog Wednesday.
Absolutely. The Watchdogs are watching. Well, John wanted to talk about this story, and guess what? The nation's now talking about this story. And what story am I talking about? Oh, the Illinois park boss accused of using a taxpayer-funded credit card for daughter's helicopter prom photo shoot. That's the headline in the New York Post.
Yeah, I read it, yeah. What a photo shoot it was. I mean, you don't go, Mom, I want a helicopter for my prom photo. And then she brings in a helicopter, and there's video of kids running away because they were scared because, you know, when helicopters land, it's the big wind gusts and you don't know what's going on. And who lands a helicopter in a park?
Wait a minute. What helicopter pilot?
Thank you. Here to incoming. Oh, we got a photo shoot for prom coming up. Check Victor. I mean, come on. What the heck does she think she is?
Well, the helicopter pilot, who does that without a permit?
Well, he was cited for disorderly conduct, as well as the park's director. She was cited as well, but she should be fired. And then also $800 an hour. That's what they charged. And that helicopter sat there for 3 hours. So now we've got a bigger bill on our hands, folks. And it's Markham. They're not flushed with cash.
You don't think?
No, it's the Southland. All the suburbs down there are dying on the vine.
Okay, Amy. Yeah, I know. Yes. I agree with you. But I mean, I'm going to disagree with you one thing. I don't think the daughter said, hey, Mom, I want a helicopter. I think the mom wanted to be splashy in front of everybody else. This was like one-upping parenthood stuff.
Well, it's the absolute helicopter mom. When you think of like a helicopter, there she is. No, she's taking care of. She's giving her what she wants. It's so foolish.
Absolutely stupid.
But then she put it on the Park District's credit card.
Okay, I want to know how much that prom cost for this woman all in. All in.
She had
nails,
a beautiful hair, makeup, shoes,
dress,
purse. Well, we can jewelry. Don't forget the jewelry.
Shoes.
Yeah, mani-pedi.
I mean, helicopter. What the hell,
And I know
folks?
people aren't bringing dates anymore to prom, or they'll go in a group, but it was just her. It wasn't even her and her date in front of the helicopter. It was just her in front of the helicopter.
Oh,
but she did say on NBC, she's like, my mom's the best. Well, yeah.
Well, anyway, John Kraft is with us. He's one of the watchdogs. And John, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. And so tell us what you just ended up doing. What'd you end up finding?
Well, the first news article I read about it labeled that as an inadvertent lack of judgment.
Oh, that's what we're going with? An inadvertent lack of judgment. Can I plea that out sometimes too? Can I say that?
You can say that to your husband and maybe get away with it, Amy. Maybe you get away with it, your husband. Forget it. Sorry, John.
Yeah. I think she should have already been charged with theft of funds from the government because the credit card used belonged to the Park District, and she used it for the purpose of flying her daughter in on a helicopter for a photo shoot. That's ridiculous. That's outright theft, in my opinion. And if the state's attorney wants to deal with crime, hey, what better chance than to deal with it right then and there?
Well, it would send a message, wouldn't it? I mean, this was what we were looking for. We're looking for people to send a message for this public corruption that is in your face. It couldn't be more obvious to everybody that she stole from the taxpayers. That was her entire intent. She should be prosecuted. She should be in handcuffs right now. Her ass should be in jail.
There you go.
Yeah, and not getting another paycheck from government either. So when I read about this, I fired off a couple FOIA requests for copies of credit card statements for the past year from both the Park District and from the village. Because if this was an inadvertent lack of judgment, I want to see how many other lacks of judgment there are out there at these credit cards and mark them.
Well, the city officials were mad. I mean, the police chief was out there, but they didn't. She's still working. I mean, at the very least, don't you think she should be on administrative leave?
Well, yeah, in my opinion, she should, but then she's the executive director of the Park District who doesn't even have a website. They haven't even acknowledged they received a FOIA request yet, so I'm expecting a 5-day extension, and then if I even get that, and then I'm expecting to have to sue them over it because I don't really expect them to provide it. So, and in another year or two, we might get the actual statements.
But Eileen O'Neill Burke could go get them right now. She could go ahead and put her butt in jail and arrest her butt and then frickin' tell her to turn it over ASAP.
That's right, but we don't have subpoena powers, so.
Oh, no, I know, but she does. But you know what? This is just, you know what? It's okay, you want to talk about the broken windows system. You want to talk, we just talked to Chief Weitzel about, you know, if you do things on the CTA, including lighting and the way that you design things, you can decrease crime. Well, guess what? Everybody knows if you clean up the graffiti.
But, Jeannie, that's not graffiti. That's art nowadays.
Oh. God, I'm always being corrected by you. Okay, John, let's go on here. You also just recently put out a story. The University of Illinois violated the Open Meetings Act's right to speak, and it was your right to speak that they violated. Oh, that's pretty dumb of them.
Somebody told us that they were not permitted to speak. They wanted to provide public comment on some litigation the university is going through. So I decided to ask to speak on their public comment policy, which in the rules of their public comment policy says they won't hear presentations or questions on anything under negotiation as far as the collective bargaining agreements, statements concerning the private activities, lifestyles, beliefs of the individuals employed with the university, grievances of individual students or employees, proposals or bids for contracts, or litigation involving the university. There's a whole list of stuff that they won't let people speak on, which violates the right to speak. If I want to talk about a bid proposal, by God, I can talk about it. If I want to talk about a lawsuit the university's in, I should be able to go to the board meeting and talk about it. Plus, they require 3 working days advance notice to ask permission to speak, which violates the Open Meetings Act according to the Attorney General's office.
So the Attorney General, Kwame Raoul, he's helping you out, though, right? He told U of I that you get to speak, right?
Not necessarily. He told them that they need to reconsider their sign-up policy. But, you know, the thing is, they're picking and choosing. If they get more than, I think, 10 speakers, they pick and choose by subject matter of the speaker who gets to speak, when it should be by the time they signed up. They shouldn't be reviewing requests for comment based on the subject of the speech.
Don't they have? I can only imagine that they have some lawyers at the University of Illinois. Like, don't they even have a law school there? I mean, you would think that they would know what the Illinois law says about the Open Meetings Act.
Well, you know, they just play stupid is what they do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is just your tax dollars at work, which means that they're not working and they're not working for you and they don't want to answer questions. Isn't that nice?
Exactly.
U of I. Right. U of I, where 43% of the kids pay no tuition or fees.
And most of them are from other countries? No. Hopefully
but
they charge them full.
Yeah, they get charged full freight if you're from China, though. We'll take those all the time, I guess. Okay, hey, John, thanks a lot. What is going to be the end result of your U of I discussion there? Did you have to sue them? Are they going to change their policy?
I'm going to check here next month, see if they changed their policy, and if they didn't, I'm going to go speak at their meeting.
And what are you going to say? Give us a preview, if you can speak.
I'm just going to try to convince them to comply with the law and change their policy. And number one, they need to get rid of the laundry list of things that people cannot talk about. Because, you know, I should be able to talk about litigation involving the university. period, and contracts. And they shouldn't have any right to tell me I can't.
Well, thanks a lot. A lot of people don't even want to speak, and you go and speak at other people's venues just to make the point and show the leadership that's necessary to hold local government accountable. So I really appreciate you taking the time to go to U of I and speaking up on behalf of others. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
And then we want to ask you one more question about the story that started it all. We talked about it a few weeks ago, the botched dispatch call of a shooting at the White Oak Park in Paris, Illinois. What's happened since we spoke last? Kirk?
Well, I'd like to say something, but the quote-unquote internal investigation found that there was nothing wrong with the dispatch, that they didn't violate any policies or procedures. And we wrote a brief article on that after that investigation came out and pointed out numerous problems with it. And then we find out after a follow-up that they didn't follow the appropriate call type. A CAD system, when the caller calls in, let's say it's a domestic violence, well, you hit the button, domestic violence, and up on the screen pops the protocols, and it's, they call it total response protocols, and it's a list of questions of things a dispatcher is supposed to do, whether it be ask or it's a step-by-step process. Well, they didn't select any type of button that would have pulled up those protocols for this, even though, you can hear gunshots in the background, you guys saying, hey, they're trying to kill me. But they didn't even select the right CAD system to get those pop-ups.
Is that difficult?
That's not a policy.
Is it difficult to discern? Where's the one where somebody's shooting at me?
No, it's shots fired. I mean, the protocol is so simple. I mean, it really is. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to qualify to be a dispatcher. Now, there's some folks aren't meant to be in that position, but to physically do it, it's pretty straightforward. You hit the button. It's a gun involvement, or it's a shooting, or it's domestic violence. All those protocols are there. They get trained on how to do it. You hit the button, boom, screen pops up. You follow it step by step, and that's how it's supposed to be. Well, they didn't have any of those screen captures that I asked for in my request because they didn't follow the protocol. Yet the internal investigation found that they didn't do anything wrong. I mean, this is the epitome of a typical sheriff's office when they answer to the sheriff. It's an internal investigation. Why is a sheriff's office investigating internally? Any type you have malfeasance by any deputy, sheriff can't investigate that. State police do it. But not in this case. We're going to do it internally. And nope, nothing to see here. Move along, folks.
So nobody was reprimanded or nobody paid the price for what happened?
Nothing. No accountability at all. Zero.
Well,
there are.
Go ahead.
I've been told at the next night or the next county board meeting. Haven't seen the agenda yet, but we've been told there's going to be a vote by the county board, a lack of confidence or a no confidence vote in our sheriff. Okay, great. Well, big deal. What's that do? That doesn't help the community any. We have no faith in the sheriff. We've had no faith in him the whole time he's been in office. But that's the level of accountability we're going to see here in Edgar County.
That's great. I don't know why people do. They do that with the Pima County Sheriff in Tucson, Arizona. They had a vote of no confidence. It doesn't change anything. And that was in regards to the Nancy Guthrie case. You know, how we waited, for the FBI to come in, and it doesn't mean anything. Well, it doesn't even go on your resume.
Is the sheriff up for election this year?
No, he's not running again.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Good. Do the victims, in this case, the gentlemen who were out there just simply fishing and then got accosted by these three white supremacists, literally white supremacists,
they were
complete
targeting
racists, targeting them because they were black. Do they have any recourse to a higher level after this report came out?
That's a good question. I would think that they would. I believe we have identified clear malfeasance. The question is going to be, what additional harm did they have because of that malfeasance? And that'd be a legal question. There's a lot of arguments both ways, but again, in order to take that next step, that means they're going to have to hire a lawyer. They're going to have to file in court, it all costs money. So because of that, most folks aren't in a position to go sue these people.
That's so true. That is the problem. Absolutely. Well, we appreciate your efforts on this and for keeping us apprised of what happened, which is nothing happened. More misconduct. No, nothing happened. State's attorney not involved. They didn't take it upon themselves to help out these guys. They could do it. You don't need to have a lawyer if the state's attorney gets involved and says you were wronged, but that never happens.
I do have one other thing in regards to your earlier discussion on the University of Illinois and the policy violation on the Open Meetings Act.
Okay.
Maybe it's time that we start demanding Pritzker appoint board members to these universities that actually understand how to read the law and follow it.
That's a novel
he could
idea.
remove these board members.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If they can't understand the basics of this, that we have a right to speak, and their own legal counsel doesn't understand this and is giving them bad advice, its heads need to roll. Get rid of these board members and put people in there that will follow. We saw that with College of DuPage. How many times did they try to violate our rights to speak at those meetings? And they had to be forced out of office to get replacement board members that actually understood what the rules were.
Well, I'm a big believer.
Same thing should happen here.
Yeah, no, I'm a big believer in naming names. So perhaps maybe in future articles, we start naming names of people that could hold them accountable. What do you think?
You bet. You bet.
All right.
Good idea.
All right. Well, that's what we're going to do. All right. Okay. Thank you. And we'll be back after this with we'll take your questions and take your calls. 312-642-5600.
Make your voice heard. Call or text The Real Story at 312-642-5600.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year. They want to make 2026 the best year ever. So to thank you, they are giving you free shipping on your entire order and wholesale pricing. So they are bringing back the mega sale. For example, the classic MyPillows, regularly $49.98, now only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the Made in the USA MyPillow My Mattress Topper and save up to $100. Get a set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. These offers won't last long, so call 800-489-0201 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY. Order now and your entire order ships absolutely free.
Have you been watching gold and silver lately? Hard to ignore. Back in January of 2025, silver was under $30 an ounce, and now it's more than doubled. Again. Not bad, right? Some experts say this bull market is just getting started. Others say it's a good time to take some money off the table. Either way, whether you're buying or selling, Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is the place to go. They stock large quantities of all the major bullion coins and bars. And here's what sets them apart. Unlike places that only pay melt value, Fox Valley Coins pays more for high-grade coins and scarcer dates. That's real money left in your pocket. They also buy scrap sterling flatware, jewelry, silver-plated items, and old proof sets. And they specialize in U.S. and foreign collector and investment coins and currency, both buying and selling. Fox Valley Coins, one light north of I-88 on Route 59 at Ferry Road in Naperville. Family-owned with integrity since 1981.
AM 560, The Answer.
312-642-5600. That's how you can reach The Real Story here on AM 560, The Answer. If you want, you can always listen to the podcast. Oh, yeah. Through the AM 560 app or download on Spotify or Apple or wherever you get your podcasts. Let's go to George in Naperville. Good morning, George. How are you?
Good morning, ladies. Why couldn't that lady from the Park District do it like they did it in the old days? Get Davy Jones or David Cassidy to take her daughter to the prom.
Oh, yes. Celebrity prom dates. Remember that when that was a thing?
That's a lot of fun.
And are the kids still doing those promposals? There were big extravagant things, where will you go to prom with me? Some people put on a performance or bring them down to the ocean and they ride out with shells. 8647. No, they write out with shells. Will you go to prom with me? Remember all that? Did any of your kids do that?
Oh, they all do some stuff. But I mean, my son used my campaign sign that said Ives on it. It said, elect me for prom or something. It was cute.
That's adorable.
Yeah, it was very cute.
Did she said yes.
Of course.
I mean, who's going to turn down an Ives?
No, but I mean, hey, are you bothered by this case at all? Because I'm bothered by it, and I want to know what's going on. This is that Glenview case where the Lily Bova was fatally shot at the family's apartment in unincorporated Glenview. And the family seems to know who the perpetrator is. The community seems to know who he is, and nobody's saying anything. She said that the Cook County Sheriff's told her this is the mother, there's enough evidence to file charges and that she has also provided evidence in the case. Despite that, she said the state's attorney's office is still asking for more time. This is well over a month old, Amy, and people are contacting me, messaging me, are you going to talk about this case? What's going on with this case? Why is the Cook County State's attorney holding off? Some people suspect that he is a teenager.
Yeah,
himself.
Lily Bova is 16 years old. She went to Glenbrook South High School. Pretty well known there. I know that they had some, counselors on hand after she was murdered. But I wonder, does this kid also go to, if he's a teenager, he's probably in school right now with your sons or your children or your grandchildren.
And there are stories out there saying that Lily's sister saw it, witnessed it, and she's afraid to go before the what do you call that? Grand jury, because she's afraid of her life. She's afraid for her life. And the other rumor out there is that the kid is the murderer isn't illegal. But there's not been hardly any movement or arrest. And yet the family says, we know. And other community members say, we know who it is.
Well, I've got to add this. Bova's mother, Christine Maggott, she spoke to Channel 7 on Sunday. She said that the 16-year-old boy turned himself into police after the shooting, but was allowed to go free because of his age.
Or was it his immigration status? Or was it both?
That is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable, and it's wrong. And I'm getting texts from people and messages about this story and why it's not something being done.
That is crazy. The Youth and Peace and Justice Foundation offering a $5,000 reward. I don't think you need a reward if the guy is turning him. Not the guy. He's a kid, probably a sophomore in high school, turning himself in to police, and they let him go. So you are getting, it is a possibility that he's here illegally?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, but we don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know. And we'll definitely stay on top of this story. Thank you so much for making us part of your morning. Have a wonderful day. We're back tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. to 9 for filling in for Dan. So we'll see you then.
Nobody can fill in for Dan, but we're going to try.
Yeah. All right. God bless, and God bless America.